let's start talking about AWS certifications. What did I find helpful in my path? What was the first one that I did? Why did I do it? Is it worth it? And we'll go from there. So here we have the AWS certification journey PDF straight from AWS. And I want to show you what was my path, right? So my path was the Cloud Practitioner, which is the foundational level certification. This is the start. I thought this was useful for me because I was coming from not knowing anything about the cloud. So I was a complete newbie. I wanted just to be exposed to everything related to AWS at the beginning. And I thought for me that was the perfect option. Some people say that, hey, this is not worth studying for. And I'll tell you what the opinion on that is. Well, the opinion on that is that if you study for one of these other ones, like the Solutions Architect Associate, for example, you can study for that, and that has a lot of overlap, and then you can go ahead and take this one later. So you're not going to study for the Cloud Practitioner and pass that one and then study for the Solutions Architect and spend more time on that, and there's a little bit of overlap. So for me, I thought it worked well just to go with the beginner one, get exposed to that. Let's see how that is. Let's see how the exam is. Let's see how the format is, and just get exposed to it, in general to that. And for me, it worked well. So I'm just going to talk about what I did, and if I could do it, you could do it. And I did this in about 2 weeks or so. And what did I do? Well, first of all, I did go to a cloud guru. Let me switch to this tab here so that you can see exactly what that is. This is a cloud guru. It looks like this, right? A cloud guru. And I just did a search on that AWS Cloud Practitioner, and I did see all the videos. There were some sample exams. I didn't do so well in the sample exams, and I felt like I didn't want to do them over and over again just to memorize the answers. And so I kind of felt like I had to find something else. And that something else, when, kind of looking for something else, I kind of came across this in YouTube, which is free. It's the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Full Course by Free Code Camp, and this is done by Andrew Brown. I'm not affiliated with him by any means. I just thought this was a great course. It is 13 hours, and it takes a little bit of time to go ahead and do. But I did that, and I found it super useful. That's all I did, and I felt pretty prepared afterwards. So a cloud guru kind of exposed me to some of the initial ideas and some of those services that I wasn't aware of. And then I came here and I did this AWS course on YouTube for free from Andrew Brown, and I felt pretty prepared. I wasn't seeing this for the first time, right? By the time I did this one, because I had seen it in a cloud guru, so I thought that was really useful. And so all that to say, was I doing this for the certification, just for the piece of paper to say, hey, I'm already certified, I could probably get a new job? No, I wasn't. I was looking at this for a learning experience. I wanted to learn and absorb as much as I could. And that's the same way that I think about everything, right? It's we're in the information age, and meaning we're trying to absorb and use and apply as much information as possible. The people that can do that successfully to the best and highest use are the people that are going to benefit from it. And that's the way I look at these all the time. In fact, I think certifications, and again, this is my opinion, I think it's not the piece of paper that gets you that the reward. I think it's the learning that we should focus on. And whether you get the piece of paper or not, that's extra. That's like something extra. That's like a side effect. But I think it's the learning that's going to get you places, right? And knowing the ins and outs, and practicing and having the experience. And we only get exposed to that at the beginning by exposing ourselves. And certifications could be a great way to do that. So, in fact, if you take the course like this, like I've said, and you end up not taking the exam, but you learned a whole lot, in my book, I think it's completely worth it. The other thing I would say, though, it's like, if you're doing all that work, why not just get the piece of paper, right? Why not just pass the exam and kind of get that reward at the end? That's my take on it. I don't do it for the piece of paper. I don't do it for the certification itself. I do it for the learning, and if you find it interesting, and you're passionate about software development, software engineering, everything's going on the cloud these days. In the last few years, you all know that. Why not be aware of it and become more familiar with it? And again, AWS is not the only one. There's Microsoft Azure, there's Google Cloud, and so on and so forth. So there's many out there to go ahead and specialize in. But for me, AWS was the one that I wanted to focus on. It's one of the top, if not the most known and most used nowadays. So I wanted to start there and really love the idea that sometimes you don't have to know. It's more important to know the concepts, right? It's not important to know all the little tiny details. For example, if you know programming, and I always say you should have a handful of programming languages under your tool belt, but if you know programming, you don't need to go out and learn every single language, or every single framework, or every single library, and as long as you have one under your belt that is your go-to, and you feel comfortable, you should be able to pick up the rest rather pretty straightforward, I think, afterwards. So I hope this helps. That's what I did. Would I do this again? I would have done this again. The only thing I think I would switch or tweak is that I would do a Cloud Guru, and I would probably do Andrew Brown's again for sure. I thought that was super helpful. What I would probably do is do something on Udemy. And Udemy, I did not discover for this AWS courses until my next one, which was the Solutions Architect Associate, which I'll talk about in my next video. But that's when I started getting into Udemy, and I thought that was super, super helpful. And I bet that would be super, super helpful for getting the Cloud Practitioner. So, but I didn't use Udemy for the Cloud Practitioner, just to be super clear. I did this in 2 weeks. I just did these two courses, the one on a Cloud Guru and then the other one on YouTube for free, and that got me past it, and I felt pretty comfortable, I should say. So that would be more than enough. But if you wanted to, I would recommend Udemy. I'm pretty sure that would have helped big time. I'll put the links below as well, just in case you're interested and you want to just go ahead and do my path, what I used for myself. And I hope this helps. If I could do it, you could do it. And I think it's all about learning. It's not so much about collecting these and saying that you have all these, and so therefore you need to collect more money or so on and so forth. I think it's all about the learning, and that's what it's all about. We got to continue developing ourselves. This year we have to be better than last year, right? This month we have to be better than we were 6 months ago. And if that's the case and there's progress, you should be happy. That's the way I do it for myself, and you should do it. I recommend you do it for yourself as well. I hope this helps.